Hi friends, in this video we are going to discuss the disk access time in which we may get some numerical problems. So let's get started for the day. Okay, so as we have seen in the previous class, the disk structure. Okay, so today we will be trying to see that how or else what is the time required to access a data or to store a data at a particular location on the disk. Okay, so to understand this, we have to first understand some terminologies. So these are some of the terminologies we have to understand first so that we can calculate what is the total access time to access the particular location on the disk. Okay, so firstly, we will just try to understand what is this seek time. Okay, let me just open this pointer. Okay. So firstly, we will try to see this. What is the seed time? Okay, as the definition of the seed time tells you that it is the time taken by a read-write head to reach the desired track. Okay, so as discussed in the previous video, that this is your read-write head. Okay, which helps us to read a particular information which is present on the sector. Okay, so now the question comes. Seek time is what? Time taken by a read-write head to reach a desired track. Okay, let us take one simple example. Okay, so hope so you remember that the disk structure. Okay, let me just quickly revise it. We have a disk. In the disk we will be having set of platters. On a platter we will be having two surfaces. Okay, on a surface we will be having a track, and track is divided into sectors, and where in this sector we are storing the actual data. Okay, so this is what we had discussed in the previous class. Now let us assume this read write head is on a track number 2. Okay, let us assume that this read write head is on track number 2. As discussed in the previous video, that let us assume that we are having 8 tracks, 8 songs on a particular disk on a particular surface. Okay, so now if you want to play the fifth track, that is fifth song. Okay, so now your read write head should move from your second track to fifth track, correct? Okay, so that means it has to jump two hops, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5. Sorry, it's a 3-hop jump. Okay, so that means your read write head should move 3 tracks ahead. Okay, now take one more scenario. Let us assume that if it is on the fifth track already, the read write head is already on the fifth track. Now, if the task given to you is you want to play a song which is on the second track. Now, what you can do? You can shift your read write head from fifth track to second track. That means in the first scenario, your read write head was moving forward, and in the second scenario your read write head is moving backward, correct? So this is what is your seek time. That means it is the time taken for a read write head to move to a particular track, or else we call it as a desired track. Okay, now that track, it has moved to the particular track. Let us say we want to play a song that is on the fifth track. Now your read write head is on the fifth track, but I don't know whether that song will be playing from the middle, or else is it at the end, or is it at the start. Okay, so this should be adjusted now, okay, accordingly, that it should start from the start. It should the song should play from the start. So for this, what we have to do now, already the read write head is on the fifth track, but we have to make some adjustments so that that song should be starting from the playing from the start. Okay, so for this, what I have done, the adjustments is done by the spindle. You can see here, this spindle helps the disc to rotate either in clockwise or anti-clockwise. Okay, so by this spindle, the track is adjusted in such a way that it will be coming at the start of your song. Okay, so here we can see here, this is what is the rotation time. What is this rotation time? Rotation time is the time taken for one full rotation. Okay, that means if that disk has to rotate 360 degree, what is the total time taken by it? Okay, so this is what is called as your rotation time. Got it? So seek time is movement of the read-write head from one track to desired track. Rotation time is the entire disk should rotate in 360 degrees. So what is the total time taken for the disk to rotate 360 degrees? That is what is a rotation time. And we have one more terminology, that is what is called as a rotational latency. Okay, what is this rotational latency? That is time taken to reach the desired sector. As I have told you that on a track, you will be having a sector where exactly the information is being stored. Now let us assume you are on a right track, but you are not on a right sector. You are not on a right sector. Now what you have to do? You have to rotate in a particular direction, either clockwise or anti-clockwise, so that you will be now reaching to the desired sector. Okay, let me just explain you with an example. Okay, so this is a read-write head, which is already on a desired track. Let us assume that this is a desired track. Okay, so now this is on this sector. It is on this sector. Now, if I want to read this sector, if I want to read this sector, okay, so it should be moving from this sector to this one, two, and three. Okay, that means it should be moving for 3 hops. It should be moving for 3 hops. Okay, this is what he terms to be as what rotational latency. Let us assume that if I want to move from one sector to another sector, it takes 1 second. Let us assume that not actually 1 second, 1 microsecond. Consider if it takes, it is this is just an example I'm giving. If it is taking 1 microsecond from moving from one sector to another sector, that means in this scenario, from moving from this sector to this sector, it will be taking how much? 1 microsecond, 2 microsecond, and 3 microsecond. This is what 3 microsecond is a rotational latency in this example. Okay, so this is how we have to calculate your rotational latency. Now there is one more term, that is what is called as your transfer time. Okay, what is this transfer time? Transfer time is a data to be transferred. What is the quantum of the data to be transferred divided by your transfer rate? Divided by your transfer rate. Like example, if you are having around 1 KB of data, let us assume you are having what? 1 KB of data. Now, what is the transfer rate? Let us take one simple example that per second, per second, if per second, if 1 byte of data is been transferred, so what is the transfer time? What is the transfer time? So what is the total data you are having? 1 kilobytes. 1 kilobytes means how many bytes? 1024 bytes. So 1024 bytes divided by transfer rate, that is what? It takes 1 second to transfer 1 bytes. So totally, what is the transfer time to transfer the entire 1 kilobyte? It is 1024 seconds, right? So this is what is actually a transfer time. Okay, just I have given you one simple example to understand what is this transfer time. It is very simple. The transfer time is what is the total amount of data you want to transfer divided by the transfer rate. Divided by the transfer rate. That is what is actually a transfer time. Okay, so this is what is all about your, to understand your access time, we need to understand all these terminologies. Okay, so if the question is asked something as calculate the disk time, okay, that problem will the given data for that problem will be they would have given you the seek time, they would have given you the rotation time, and they would have also given you the transfer time. So if they ask you calculate the disk access time, it is nothing but sum of all this, sum of seek time plus rotation time and plus transfer time. Okay, so if you add all these three, so that is what is giving you the disk access time, because seek time is what? Moving from a particular track to a desired track. That is first time. It is the first time what is taken. And after that, you have to reach to a particular sector, that is what is the rotational latency. And after that, you have to either retrieve the data, that is read the data, or store the data. So that reading the data and storing the data is what is called as your transfer time. So to do all this, we have to add seek time, we have to add rotational latency, and we have to add what is the transfer time. Okay, so if you do that, you will be getting the answer for your disk access time. Okay, but in that problem, they may have they would have also given you what is this. They would have also given the control time and also queue time. Okay, the control time is nothing but the operating system will take some time to hand over the hardwares for that. Okay, so that is what is the control time. They may give it. Okay, if they have given you control time and queue time. Okay, so you should add also this control time and queue time for that. Okay, so totally what is the disk access time? Disk access time is sum of seek time, rotation time, transfer time, and control time, and also queue time. If you add all these five, you will be getting what is the disk access time. If they have not given you control time and queue time, please ignore it. Just add the seek time, rotational latency, and your transfer time. Okay, so this is what is all about your disk access time. Hope so. If the problem in the exam is been asked, what is this disk access time? And if they would have given you some data, and if they ask you to calculate disk access time, hope so you could easily calculate this disk access time. Okay, so in the next video, we will be seeing with the next topic, that is your disk scheduling. Okay, so I will be just creating one more video for this. Okay, hope so this is all clear for you. Thank you.